Hey, what's going on, everybody? Back again. So today I'm just gonna try to get this one in a little bit quicker. So whatever you didn't hear me say, if you join the live, I don't know, a few minutes in, then maybe you can check it out later and just rewind it. But a couple weeks ago, I posted a video called How to Get Lean and Fit. And today I wanted to discuss something that I didn't discuss in that video, which is pitfalls and the things that may derail you, right? Because I gave advice on how to get lean and fit, which if you follow, you will do. But I didn't discuss the things that could derail you or could cause you to quit or to fail or to feel like maybe you can't do it. So let's go over that. Let's go over some pitfalls. These are some very common pitfalls that I think you may not foresee or maybe you didn't even think about or know about. So the first one I wanted to cover was not enough sleep. So I think a lot of people probably fall into this category of not getting enough sleep because we need at least 7 to 8 hours, right? So that's just bare minimum, 7 to 8 hours. And when you're working out, you really need those 7 to 8 hours. Like if you're not working out at all, you might be able to get away with, 6 hours, maybe 5. But when you're working out, your body needs that extra amount of rest and recovery. So what happens when you don't get enough sleep? Well, obviously you're gonna feel tired, right? And when you're tired, what do? You want more energy, right? So what do? You reach for more snacks. Because what is a calorie? A calorie is a unit of measurement of energy, right? So you go and you grab something to snack on because you're just feeling really tired, and that picks you up, and it actually works. It makes you feel better for maybe 20 minutes if you're lucky, right? And then you get tired again, so you snack more. So all in all, overall, when you're lacking a lot of sleep, you will end up eating more and snacking more and just eating a lot more calories than you would otherwise eat, and you still don't feel good, Another thing it does is it will mess with your hormones. So all your hormones go out of whack. It's going to put a damper on your thyroid. Your adrenal glands are going to be stressed. So when you set that alarm to wake up, maybe you only got 4 hours or 3 hours, but you got to go to work. So you set that alarm anyways. And instead of your cortisol spiking to kind of, make you feel awake and get out of bed, you have to rely on adrenaline to get you to wake up. So what happens with that is you're going to feel shaky, your body's going to feel exhausted. In the moment you might feel okay, but later it will hit you. So I'll just leave it off on that one. That's one of the biggest pitfalls, not enough sleep. Next one, not drinking enough water, right? So again, a lot of people fall into this category because they, maybe you get up, you have your cup of coffee or tea, and then you have another cup of coffee, which, by the way, dehydrates you a bit, right? And I'm not saying don't drink coffee. I'm not saying that at all. Although I don't drink coffee myself, I think you can drink 1 cup and it's fine, assuming you're not putting a bunch of junk in it either, right? A bunch of sugar and heavy duty creams that have all sorts of vegetable oils and stuff like that in it. But when you don't drink enough water, what happens? You feel more hungry, right? So you think you're hungry sometimes. You have that feeling like you're hungry, but in reality, if you were to just reach over, grab a glass of water and drink it, you might notice that your hunger's gone. And you go, what's up with that? Why is that? And it's because we actually get a lot of hydration through our food, right? So when your plate of hot food sitting there and you see steam coming off of it, that's hydration, right? That's water. And another thing is when you first wake up in the morning, we're all dehydrated, right? Because through respiration, we're losing water the whole night. That's why if you go up to a mirror or you go up to a glass and you just breathe some hot air on it, you'll see that steam's up, right? Because you're losing water. You're losing water through respiration. So you got to get more water in, right? So if they go, well, what's the right amount, right? I think a good general rule of thumb to follow is you take your body weight, cut that in half, and that number in ounces is around what you should be taking in if you're working out, you're on a regular workout program and stuff like that. Another thing that people don't think about is they think, well, I'm not thirsty. If I was, if I wasn't drinking enough water, I'd be thirsty. And it's like, that's not true. The first symptom of chronic dehydration is lack of thirst. So a lot of the times people that are just chronically not drinking enough water, you don't feel thirsty. I don't know if it's the body's way of adapting to that situation or what, but you won't feel thirsty. So at the end of the day, not drinking enough water will lead to, one, not feeling good. Your energy is going to be low because we're mostly made up of water, right? You're going to feel weak for your workouts, and you're going to end up eating more than you should. Okay, another one. Too much oils, too much nut butters, maybe even too much nuts, right? Because they're really good to eat, and like as far as like tasting wise, right? So, but let's look at the oils and the nut butters. So these are foods that are super high calorie because they have a lot of fat, and they're very easy to overeat. Very, very easy, right? So I think I told this story on my how to get lean and fit video, but I had a client that was following all my advice on losing weight and just getting leaner and getting more healthy, and she was losing weight great. She was on a roll. She was dropping, she dropped 15 pounds, then another 5 pounds, and everything was going perfect, right? And then she got stuck. She just plateaued. And she said, I don't get it, Michael. I'm doing everything you're telling me, and I just, the last month I haven't lost any weight. And I said, okay, well, let's look at everything you're doing. So we broke it down. Everything was looking great. And she told me she was eating 2 salads a day with protein in it, right? Like I told her to. And she said that, because I asked her, what do you put in your salad? And she said she just drizzles a little bit of olive oil on her salad. I said, okay, well, just do me a favor next time and use a tablespoon measurement, like the ones that you bake with that actually say tablespoon, and see how many tablespoons you use. So long story short, I'm not going to take time on this. She was taking in almost 1,000 calories just from the olive oil. So even though, you could say, well, olive oil is healthy and all this stuff, right? And it's a fat and we need it. It's just too much, right? So too much of anything is not good, right? So you got to be careful with the oils, and the nut butter, same thing. It's very easy. I mean, look on the back of the container, even if you have almond butter, it doesn't matter what, it's healthier. Look at the back. For 2 tablespoons, look how much fat it has. It's a lot. And then look at the calories, right? Because I told you on my last video that protein is 4 calories per gram, carbs are 4 calories per gram, and fat is 9 calories per gram. And not that I'm telling you to count calories, but it's important to kind of know what you're doing and kind of know what's going on. And fat is more than double the calories. So you just got to be careful. You got to be mindful, right? So when it comes to nuts, it's the same thing. It's very, very, very easy to eat too many nuts, right? Yeah, lemon juice is good. That's a good, what's up, Christine? That's a good option because it adds a lot of flavor. It's really good for you, and you're getting vitamin C, and it's going to taste good, and you're not getting all those extra calories. So, all right, I'm going to cut it off there with that one. Just be careful, be mindful, because too much oils, nut butters, even nuts, your calories are going to be too high. You're going to be in a calorie surplus, and you're going to stay the same or gain weight. Okay, let's move on. So the next pitfall is you're being too restrictive, right? So you're like, oh, I'm going to go on this diet. I'm going to lose weight. This is going to be great. I'm going to low fat this, low fat that, low fat everything, right? Maybe you're doing good with your protein. You're like, I'm going to keep my protein high. But because your fat is too low, you're going to end up feeling hungry, right? Because we can't fool our body. We have 2 essential macronutrients, and that's proteins and fats. You do not have an essential carb. That just doesn't exist, right? I'm not saying that you shouldn't eat carbs. I'm just saying if you had to survive, you have to get in essential proteins and essential fats to survive. Because if you don't eat them, they're essential, because if you don't eat them, you die, right? And your body doesn't produce them. So you can't just create them from carbs. You need to eat them. So the reason why that's so important, and you should know that, is because you got to know why you're choosing certain foods in order for you to have long-term success when it comes to your nutrition. It can't just be like a diet mindset, right? Diet's very temporary. Like I go on a diet and I get off a diet. So this is more nutritional advice that can last you a lifetime, right? And keep you healthy and keep you fit. So if you're too restrictive on one of your essential macronutrients, meaning protein or fat, then your body's gonna feel hungry because it's hoping that you're gonna keep getting food in or keep putting food in your body to eventually hit that macronutrient need, because it knows that you're lacking that essential nutrient. So you're gonna keep feeling hungry. Like, you may feel full because of the amount of food you ate for 20 minutes, but after that, you're gonna get hungry again shortly after. So a lot of the times when someone's on a real restrictive diet, or they're trying to change their nutrition and eat really lean and healthy, they can actually go a little too extreme and their fats can be too low. You know, it doesn't happen all the time, but it's something that does happen. And then maybe they have a strong enough willpower to maintain that for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe. But eventually, nobody, not even myself, nobody has a strong enough willpower to fight that. Eventually, you're going to binge. You're going to have a day where you're just going to eat whatever you want, or you're going to eat the junk food because your body's going to literally make you. And if you don't, if you're that obsessive, then you're going to be somebody that's like anorexic or something. You're going to get really sick because you need those essential macronutrients to be healthy, right? So when someone's giving you health advice, right, or nutritional advice, take a look at them. How do they look? Do they look healthy? Do they look pale? Do they look super sucked in, skinny? I'm not talking about doing competition, because you kind of have to get a little unhealthy to do these fitness competitions, but I'm talking about just in general life. How does this person look that's trying to give you advice? Are they fat? Are they overweight? Do they have a big stomach and they're trying to give you advice? Just keep that in mind, right? They should look the part. They should know how to do it themselves and be healthy in order to give you health advice, right? I really believe that. So keep that in mind. It can go the other way around too, as far as like being too restrictive, not being restrictive enough, right? So like you just kind of like I said, you have a couple days where you just go all out. You go, I was good Monday through Friday, and then you just kind of go out and eat whatever you want for two straight days, right? So that's gonna throw you off as far as like trying to maintain a calorie deficit, even without counting calories, and losing weight over time. Because if you do the average over the week, those 2 days you ate whatever you wanted, it took you from being in a calorie deficit from exercising and eating really healthy foods to all of a sudden eating junk and eating whatever you wanted. Now, if you average out those calories, you're going to be above where you should be to be losing weight, right? Okay, another pitfall. Workout schedule, right? If your workout schedule's bad. Now, what do I mean about having a bad workout schedule? What do you think I mean by that? I'm talking about timing and what works with your work schedule and your life schedule. So if you make your workout schedule at a time that is nearly impossible for you to keep in your routine on a regular basis, you're going to fail, right? So if you know you come back home from work and you're utterly exhausted and you only have like 1% of energy left, almost like 1% of battery on your phone, what's the odds you think of that you're actually gonna, like, how many days out of the week are you actually gonna get your workout in if you get home from work and you're just so tired that you can't do anything, right? And you go, I start work really early. Well, this is where you got to start making some decisions, right? You may have to get up early, like earlier than you want to, right? I'm not a morning person, so I get it. But if that's your only option and that's when you actually have energy, you may have to do that, right? How bad do you want it? All right, so think about that. And maybe you save a day or two on the weekend when you don't work out, or I'm sorry, when you don't have work, right? And you do a little workout then. It doesn't have to be a crazy long workout. Maybe you just get in a half an hour, but something's better than nothing. Let's move on. All right, here's another one that I see that happen. Somebody gets really excited about losing weight and getting fit, and they got motivated. They saw a video. Something happened, right? They saw my video. No, but they got really motivated. So what happens? They make too many goals. They try to do too many tasks. They just put too much on their plate, right? So they have like an unrealistic amount of work or things to accomplish, and that's another pitfall, because eventually, I don't know how many days you're going to be able to get away with that, but eventually you're going to feel like, oh, this is impossible. I can't do this. You're going to feel overwhelmed, and then you're just going to stop, right? So rather than doing that, it's better to just try to focus on one thing at a time. You know, maybe this week and the following week, all you focus on is figuring out a workout schedule, like what works best for your schedule, right? And maybe you don't have to work out that long. Maybe you just need to get a 20-minute workout in just to get started, right? But try to figure out that schedule first, or try to focus on something else. Maybe you already know your workout schedule, but you know, maybe you have all these things that you want to accomplish at the same. You want to gain muscle, but you want to lose fat, but you want to have more energy. All these different things, and it's like, well, maybe you kind of focus first on just, your nutrition, right, and losing some body fat, and maybe doing some cardio. And then when you feel like you got to kind of handle on those things, then you can start putting a little more attention to your strength training and your weight training and learning how to lift properly. The opposite is true as well for this one. So you can go from having too many goals, too many tasks to do, to like 0 goals, right? And if you have 0 goals, then you're not going to accomplish much. You have to have some kind of goal in mind. Like, think in your head, what do I want to look like? Or what do I want to feel like? Or what kind of clothes do I want to wear or fit into? Or whatever that goal may be. Or maybe you want to run around and play with your kid, but you don't have enough energy to. And you just kind of sit there and you're like, oh, I'll go right now. And you just keep sitting there because you don't have enough energy to get up. So think about that and set a goal, and shoot for, I find a good amount of time for people is about 6 to 8 weeks. It's not too short. It's not 2 weeks, because too short, it's unrealistic as well. You can't accomplish too much in 2 weeks. And it's not too long to where you're going to lose focus and lose track and be like, oh, that's so far away. I'll just start again in a couple weeks when I feel better. 6 to 8 weeks. That's kind of like, if you would ask me, that's what I would tell you to set a goal for. Whether that's losing some body fat, maybe you set a goal for, maybe you're checking your own percentage with a machine, and or you have a scale that shows it. Shoot for 1%, And if you hit half a percent, hey, you still lost some body fat, right? So think about that. Let's move on here. So we have too much change all at once, right? Extremes don't last. That's what I wrote down, because I just made like little bullet points right here. Kind of like what I was saying a second ago, too many goals, right? So if you try to change too many things at the same time, if you're like, I'm going to eat this way, I'm going to work out this way, I'm going to change my schedule, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you're maybe 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, and then you're going to stop because it's not sustainable, So again, I like focusing on one thing at a time, really, like laser focus, get that down, and then move to the next thing. And if you're not sure what those things are, get a sheet of paper and just jot down what's priority to you. What's something you really, really feel, if you made a list of 10 things or 5 things, what's like on the top of your chart, right? And then just jot that down and then focus on that one thing. Give it a couple weeks. And another thing that, and I've done this before myself. I do this sometimes, and I have to catch myself. An all or nothing mentality, right? So, in certain situations that could be great, right? But in others, it really affects you negatively, right? Because when you're all or nothing, you're thinking like, well, today I didn't eat that good, so why even work out, right? Or you think, oh, my workout wasn't that great this morning, so I'm not even going to eat that good because I didn't do it the way I didn't do it perfect like I wanted to, so forget it. It's all or nothing. I'm either all in or I'm all out. So, I messed up this whole week. I'll just start in 2 weeks from now when I feel a little better. And again, I've had a lot of clients like this before too, and it typically tends to be people that are you have a high expectation of yourself, and sometimes you are very goal oriented, and you do want to accomplish a lot in your life. And you're just really hard on yourself, and you're a perfectionist. So, there's pros and cons of you being a perfectionist. So, all or nothing mentality that can really take you down. Just remember, I just need to get something in today. Just tell yourself, something is better than nothing. If you get just a little bit of a workout in, just tell yourself, let me just get in there for 5 minutes. Even if it sucks really bad, you'll notice you'll end up doing 10 or 15 minutes. It's not going to be 5 minutes. But just tell yourself that. Just trick yourself, right? Another one is, if you have 0 home equipment or 0 workout space, right? Because you have to have a backup. So if you're used to going to a gym or something of that sort, and you have no backup for if it's like a rainy day or if the weather really sucks or your car broke down or something like that. Oh, I guess I can't get my workout because maybe your gym's too far to walk, right? So you don't really need much equipment, but invest in something, you know? If that thing is cardio for you that you're starting with, then invest in, you know, I would highly recommend something like there's something called a maxi climber. You may want to look it up. It's very affordable. It's $200-300. There's no impact. It's basically like a Versa climber. It's not a Stairmaster. It's not a stair stepper, but it's very similar. So there's no impact. It burns a lot of calories. You don't have to be on there that long. And you can fold it and put it in a closet. It doesn't really take up that much space. So that's always an option for people that are limited on space, limited on funds, but they want some kind of cardio equipment or even have like joint issues. There's no impact on there, right? So a rowing machine, you can fold that up as well, put it against the wall. Of course, there's always stationary bicycles, things like that. But also when it comes to strength equipment, I think I think I have it right here. One of the really good things that I invested in a long time ago, and I still use this myself and I still use it with clients every day, is the TRX, right? So the TRX is the little bag that it comes in. It's just straps that you put over the door and you close the door, or you install a little anchor on your wall or your ceiling, and it's straps that hang down, and you can use it to basically work your entire body with your own body weight. So look into that. But another pitfall is zero planning, right? Zero goals, which I think I kind of mentioned earlier. But yeah, if you don't plan at all, like you don't have to be a crazy planner. You don't have to write everything down. You don't have to do all this crazy stuff. But think about it, you know, just the way you plan. Maybe you're gonna get a new TV and you're really excited, or you're gonna get a new car, or you're gonna get something, and you start looking up those new cars, and you're like, well, this one has a V6, or this one's, you know, whatever the features are, and you're looking up the TV, and oh, well, this one's LED, no, this one's OLED, no, this one's like, you know, LCD, and I don't know, like, and you start investigating that. I mean, you should kind of do the same thing, you know, when it comes to your workouts or it comes to your nutrition or anything like that. You should put some energy into researching a little bit and planning your schedule. Maybe you're really good at planning your schedule with your kids or for your family or for yourself when it comes to work-related things or friends, but you put the workout and yourself priority like really low on the list. So you got to bump that up towards the top, you know? And one of the last ones I wanted to cover before I go is injuries, right? So all these things that I just covered, I mean, you can have everything down like really good, right? You have some goals set, your nutrition's going well, you're getting enough sleep, you're drinking enough water, all these things are going great, right? But you weren't careful and you didn't learn proper form or how to take care of your joints properly and proper warm-ups and all those things, right? You saw this really cool exercise and it looked fun, and you don't want to be boring and whatever the case may be, right? But it's too advanced for you. Maybe you're not ready for that yet. Maybe you need some more strength inside your shoulder joint before you can attempt that overhead press, or before you can do a squat, you need to work on your core stability a little bit more with some work on the ground first, right? So take the time. I mean, there's some really great videos on YouTube when it comes to strength training, proper form with lifting weights and things of that nature that you can find. I mean, there's some really good stuff, right? So, I mean, and if you don't have the time for that, I mean, think about hiring a personal trainer, somebody that can help you with that. Because maybe in general, you have some general basic things down, but there may be a few little things that you don't learn in the literature in the books, right? That you only learn through experience. There's things that I've learned over time that nobody taught me. I learned on my own the hard way, or through experience working with other people that knew more than me, working for a company that would hire people to teach us stuff that we didn't know, experts, reading books and doing trial and error on myself. So invest in either maybe hiring somebody if you don't have the time, or taking your own time to investigate some of these videos that you can find online, articles, books, things that you can find on proper form and lifting techniques when it comes to lifting weights. Because I once heard somebody say that they're called dumbbells because they're dumb. but it's just so not true. You have to be smart to lift them properly, right? So even though some people think like lifting weights can be dumb, it's actually one of the best, in my opinion. Now, of course, I'm going to be a little biased here, but I think it's one of the best types of exercise you can do is strength training, because you can do it in a way that preserves your joints. Not only preserves them, makes your joints stronger. You can get cardio out of it depending on how you set up your workout routine. If you're doing circuit training, supersets, giant sets, all that kind of stuff, quad sets. Yeah, you can get cardio benefit from it. You will build your muscles. You will make your bones stronger, including your ligaments and your tendons. So all your soft tissues will get stronger. You can improve flexibility. And since you do get cardio benefit from it, you can improve your memory, right? Your balance improves. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. I mean, it's one of the best antidepressants that we know of, exercise period, right? But I mean, you're going to get that out of your weight training if you're doing it properly. So invest in learning proper form. And if that means that you have to hire somebody, I highly recommend it. Just make sure they know what they're doing. And how do you do that, right? I don't know. I mean, I guess ask somebody like me. But yeah, that's it for today. That's the pitfalls. So keep those things in mind, and feel free to use this video as a reference. I'm going to keep it up. So if you're like, what did he say again? Like, or you're having trouble, just go back to my page and also I'm going to post it on my YouTube. So you can save the video on there. And yeah, that's all for today, people. So hope you have a great day. Hope you're feeling good. And I hope you took something from this video. Take care. Peace and love, everybody.